Be right back, baby. McGregor. Hey there, Mr. McGregor. That's a nice-looking Beauregard you got there. What's that, 25 pounds?
29, Chuck, 29 pounds, 3.5 ounces. That was a nice carrot you were toting. Not as big as last year, though. Too bad.
What do you mean? That's twice as big as last year.
Hey,
huh?
Good morning, neighbors.
Oh, hi, Mr. Brown.
Hey, is this where I bring my big food?
Sure is. Where's your entry, Mr. Brown?
Oh.
Yeah, where do you got it, huh? I mean, what, are you hiding it out in the truck or something?
No, McGregor. I got it right here.
Sorry, the marble competition is down in tent 5.
Yeah, this is not a marble. It is an olive, and it is a fruit.
Mr. Brown, the only thing you're going to win with that is a prize for the biggest fruit cake. You.
But don't worry, neighbor. They say size isn't everything.
Yeah, well, you know, big isn't always just a function of physical stature, McGregor. This olive is big on flavor, it's big on history, it's big on culinary possibilities, and it is big in cultural mythology.
Well, we certainly got our own myths around here, don't we, Mr. 29 pounds, 3.5 ounces?
Hey, the only big thing you brought here today was your mouth.
You want a piece of me, old
Oh,
man?
bring it on, Pipsqueak.
Guys, look. No one is going to argue that you guys aren't packing some big agriculture here today, but come on. Can your offerings claim to be a part of 3 major religions? Have their images been carved on the walls of Egyptian tombs? Have their oils been used to pay taxes in ancient Rome? Huh? Oh, hey, check this out. That eagle, what's it carrying?
Arrows.
Other side.
Twigs.
Olive branches. That's right. Our founding fathers appreciated the significance of the olive, not only as a symbol of culinary freedom, but of peace itself. No, my friends, this guy may be Mickey Rooney in stature, but in taste, it's Mickey Mantle. And that's enough to qualify it as... For most Americans, olives come in 2 varieties, Greenus botalis and Blackus incaneus. Now, these I occasionally like to marinate in an ice-cold mixture of vermouth and gin. But that's another show. By the way, the tradition of stuffing the hole left by pitting goes back to the 18th century. Although today olive orifices may sport walnuts, garlic, blue cheese, or anchovies, I still prefer good old pimentos. As for black canned California ripe olives, well, when people tell me they don't like olives, I suspect it's because they've been eating these. Their distinct lack of flavor stems from the fact that they're not actually preserved in a brine or by salt, but by the cooking that comes with the canning process. And once they're opened, they're as susceptible to spoilage as any other canned good. The only thing really distinct about this kind of olive is the color, that shiny black, which comes courtesy of oxidation and a dip in a ferrous gluconate solution. Yum. Luckily, there are many, many other choices. Not only are quality olives popping up on Mega Mart shelves everywhere, but in some lucky towns you can actually belly up to an olive bar. That's right, kids. This is the high altar of olive idolatry. Just look at it. It's a veritable smorgasbord representing every olive production method known to man in just about every growing region on the face of the earth. All offered by the pound, and I might add, self-serve, which is very nice indeed. That's good. Busted like Benjamin Bunny.
Did you like that mantequilla?
I did. Take me away.
Come try another.
Okay.
This is the Castabot.
Castabot, so that's a little French olive, right?
Mm-hmm.
Most of the French ones are pretty small, right?
Yes, come try this one.
Look.
This is Sivian Con Limon.
Con limon.
Uh-huh.
That means with lemon, does it not?
Okay, come try this one.
Okay, wait a second. I got a mouthful of pips. Let me chew. Do me a favor.
Okay.
Let's just say for a second that I was just some regular Joe off the street coming up to the olive bar for the very first time. Are there any guidelines that I could use to ensure that I get good quality olives?
Sure, you want to be looking for a smooth, firm skin. You don't want them to look wrinkled unless, of course, they're oil cured. Then they're going to be wrinkled.
Or salt
cracked,
cured, right.
Salt cured. You want a smooth finish, and you want to make sure that you're going to a place that is is selling a lot of olives so that they have stock that's constantly moving, and that they're actually stirring the olives, which keeps them moist and prevents them from molding.
Okay, so you want the olives to be smooth and firm, unless, of course, they're supposed to be dark and wrinkled. They should always be moist because that's a sign of stirring, and you would be better off buying at a place that sells a lot of olives.
Exactly.
Like this.
Exactly.
Oh, what's your favorite?
I love all of the olives, but the Pichelines are these little cute green guys from the southern part of France, and I just love them.
Thanks.
They're great.
Thanks.
Ooh, do you want to try some olives?
Off she goes. You know, hanging out in an olive bar is definitely a good way to meet the olive of your dreams. But if you really want to understand olives, you need to hang out in another section. I think one of the things that makes learning about wine such a big challenge is the fact that, is the fact that there are so many different ways to classify wine. For instance, wine can be classified by the country or region of origin, by the production method, or, of course, by the actual variety of grape. Now, to mangle matters even more, some grapes can be used to produce both red and white wine. Well, what is true of wine is certainly true of olives, but the blossoming olive connoisseur does have one slight advantage, and it's the simple fact: nothing affects the flavor and texture of olives more than the method of production. I'll give this a try. The only difference between a green olive and a black olive is time. A black olive is the fully ripe fruit of this tree, whereas green olives are harvested when they are full size but still immature. Now, when they are ripe, olives are packed with an oil that, frankly, powered most of the ancient world the way that petroleum does today. And as significant as the discovery of that oil may be, what's really amazing is that people figured out that they could actually eat these things. Because you see, well, go ahead. Try it. Go ahead. What do you think? Oh, yeah, pretty bitter, huh? That's because in their raw state, olives are packed with a glucoside called oleuropein, and it is just about the most bitter thing that you could imagine ever putting in your mouth. However, we can remove it from olives. As for your mouth, you're going to need to get a mint or something. Since they are so gosh darned bitter, all green olives, regardless of their variety, have to soak in a lye solution before they can move on to the brining process. Now, if you ever want to cure your own olives, and it can be a lot of fun, you're going to want to read up on this stuff, okay? Anybody that saw the movie Fight Club can tell you that lye is a powerful corrosive. It can cause some pretty nasty burns. So study up. Get yourself some of these sweet Dr. No gloves. Now, after soaking in the lye solution for a few days, the olives then move to several days in clean water. And the water's changed several times to help leach out the lye that leached out the bitter stuff. Then we move on to the brine, and they could stay in here for weeks or even months, depending on the desired style of olive. Now, black olives, since they are ripe, don't need the lye. They can, in fact, just go directly into salt and be packed away for weeks or months until they are dry, cured olives. They can also be cured in a brine, or they can be cured in just plain old water or oil, depending on the exact style of olive you're looking for and the amount of time that you've got. Open stock olives like this should be kept refrigerated in their brine, and they will keep a lot longer if they stay submerged. So if they start drying out, just dissolve a tablespoon of salt in a pint of water and use that brine to keep them topped off. Dry cured olives like these can simply be tossed in, you got it, olive oil. Now, how long they'll actually keep will depend somewhat on the strength of the initial cure, but I've kept them stashed in here for up to a year. I don't eat them too fast because everybody knows olives aren't that good for you.
Hello, Alton.
It is the lady of the refrigerator, and I thought she only existed in legend, myth, story, and song.
That's true, I do, but olives are also mentioned many times in myths, legends, fables, stories, and song, not to mention the Bible.
How many times?
A lot. And listen, riddle me this. If, as you say, olives are so bad for you, why have they been so important to mankind, and why are doctors so crazy about olive oil?
I don't know.
Let me tell you a few things about olives and nutrition. Olives are a fine source of gloriously good monounsaturated fats and vitamin E, which is a mighty fighter in the war against evil free radicals. And olives also contain phytonutrients such as flavonoids and polyphenols, which have anti-inflammatory properties important in the defense against everything from heart disease to wrinkles, and as you can see, I have none.
No, you're beautiful.
That's because I live in the refrigerator. Now, as for the salt, if you are so worried about it, why don't you just show us how to remove some? Now, my dear Alton, get to cooking. The show is almost half over. And chill.
Hey, but wait a minute. That's easy for her to say. I don't have any. Well, would you look at that? That is one fabulous fridge fairy I've got. Might as well give it a try. Step one, we must rid ourselves of this insidious industrial brine with a quick rinse in cold water. But that is not enough in and of itself. No, we must soak our olives in fresh water to extract some of the sodium. Now, as little as 5 minutes will do some good, but longer would be better. 5 hours wouldn't be terrible. Bring in a vessel large enough to hold our pound of olives and start with 1 clove of garlic, finely minced. To that, we will add 1/2 cup of extra virgin olive oil, 1 tablespoon of red wine vinegar, the juice of 1 medium lemon, plus the zest of said lemon, 1/2 teaspoon of red pepper flake, 1/2 teaspoon of dried tarragon, 1/4 teaspoon of curry powder. Then we will bring our olives to the party. Make sure that the lid is firmly affixed and give a good shake to coat. There we go. Now you can stash these in just a cool, dark place for about a day to let them marinate at room temperature. Then move them to the chill chest. No dish delivers olivey goodness quite like the olive paste of Provence. Tapenade. I realize that innumerable permutations of this dish exist. I think the real secret is in creating not only a contrast of flavors, but a contrast of textures. I do this by using a combination of soft-fleshed, easy-to-pit olives and some firm-fleshed, not so easy-to-pit olives. Okay, now super soft olives like, say, Calamatas can often be pitted simply by rolling them around in a tea towel while exuding a bit of downward pressure. Tougher olives, like this little French number, might just require a thwack from one of my favorite multitaskers, the bench scraper. Apply thusly. Replace the device thusly. 1 good whack. Pits be gone. Whatever you do, don't go out and buy one of those sissified olive pitters. You just don't need it.
Bit down on an olive pit, huh? Well, you know, olives like cherries, apricots, peaches, and plums are drupes, and drupes have, drupes have a hard pit or stone that protects the seed. They're very hard. And guys like me make a lot of money off of them. You should have used a pitter. Well, that may be true. It may be a unitasker, but if you had used that unitasker, maybe I wouldn't be needing to use this unitasker. And Ms. Wong, we may need those number 7 forceps as well.
Of course, Dr. Giselle. I've also prepped the drill and the gum scissors.
Thank you.
Just in case. Hi, AB.
Just relax. Miss Long's been working here part-time for years now. I'll be right back once that Novocaine kicks in.
Well, a girl has to have some fun, you know. Well, you know, before we start drilling, pulling, and gouging, let's talk about pitters, shall we? Pitters. The best models look a lot like a tooth extractor. That is a spring-loaded scissor design. You want a heavy-duty construction and the following features. A deep receiver to hold large or small olives, and a curved piston or striker with a sharp concave tip that'll coat through the olive, cutting through its flesh and pushing the tip through a hole. That's big enough for the pit, but not so big that small olives will push through. Oh, simple physics. Moving in an arc, a straight striker would cut through, would just tear through an olive. You also want a stopper to prevent the device from closing so much that it'll crush the olive.
Can you do that for cherries?
Oh, absolutely, you can use it for cherries. That's why there's a little groove there to put the stem through.
Clever.
Now, can you feel this? No, good. Doctor, he's ready.
Okay, Mr. Brown, you're going to feel a little bit of pressure.
Traditionally, tapenade is made via mortar and pestle. But if you decide to give that up and look to your food processor for labor relief, I, for one, won't tell. So, in go half a pound of mixed, rinsed, pitted olives, along with 2 tablespoons of olive oil. Extra virgin would be nice. A tablespoon of freshly squeezed lemon juice. 1 small clove of garlic, minced. 2 tablespoons of capers, which are, of course, the pickled flower buds of a Mediterranean evergreen. 2 to 3 basil leaves. And last but not least, 2 anchovy fillets. Oh, come on. Anchovies don't have to be those funny little furry coils on bad frozen pizzas, really. I prefer salt-packed anchovies, which I soak in a little cold water before adding to anything. They're just for flavor, trust me. What are you looking at? They're frozen peas. They help with the swelling. Now, come over here. I'll get everything in the work bowl and process in brief bursts until you got a nice, even, but coarse paste. You're going to have to stop several times during the process to scrape down the bowl. Probably take you about a minute total. So what exactly is tapenade good for? Well, there are the obvious choices. You can smear it all over crudité or on a nice piece of bruschetta, but there are other options to be sure. For instance, you could mix a little with extra virgin olive oil and lemon juice and make yourself a nice little salad dressing. You could toss it with hot vegetables, smear it on beef. Beef loves tapenade. I like to stir mine into mashed potatoes. Very tasty. And fish? Fish never had a better friend. In fact, I can only think of one food that really just doesn't get along with tapenade. That is good tepid. I wasn't double dipping, really. Oh, look, there's only 1/3 of a cup left. It's time to make our tapenade bread. We'll need 1/3 of a cup of that and these other fine products. We will need 3 teaspoons of baking powder and 17 ounces, which is about 3½ cups of all-purpose flour. And that's going to go straight to the food processor. Now, I like combining these in the food processor because it helps to aerate the flour, which means that the batter is going to come together more easily. So just a couple of pulses, and then we'll add the rest of the tapenade right on top of that. We don't want to chop that up, so we're just going to give it a few pulses to combine. 2, 3, 4 ought to do it. Basically, you shouldn't even see the tapenade anymore, and you don't. Now, we move on down the line to the wet team of the software. We have 1¼ teaspoons of kosher salt, which I realize isn't wet, but it will dissolve. 1/2 cup of olive oil, 1 cup of milk, 2 eggs, lightly beaten, and 1 tablespoon of honey, which I really never like to measure. We'll just eyeball that, and whisk until thoroughly emulsified. There, when that is thoroughly mixed, we'll bring on board 12 ounces of mixed olives, which have been rinsed, pitted, and chopped right into the wet works. Go down, grab your dry goods and your spatula, and dump that right on top, very gently. Now, this is a quick bread, and therefore will toughen if it is overstirred, of course, because of the moisture mixing with the protein in the flour. So we'll only mix enough to bring this together. That's it. Just walk away. Just walk away. Yeah, I know there's some lumps, some little dry places. That's okay, but actually, don't walk away. Let's walk over here. We need to get a loaf pan ready. Here is the pan. Going to give a quick spritz with some no-stick spray, which is mostly to hold down this piece of parchment, which we're going to use as a kind of a sling to remove the final loaf there. And now the batter goes in. And believe it or not, it will all fit. There. This goes into a 375-degree oven for about 1 hour and 15 to 1 hour and 20 minutes, or until the internal temperature hits 210 degrees. Now, if you don't have your instant read thermometer with you, you can always take a skewer and do this the old-fashioned way. It comes out dry, you know that you are good to go. Now, let this cool for 30 minutes before you go cutting up on it, okay?
And now, the moment you've all been waiting for, the grand prize winner of this year's giant food competition, Alton Brown.
I don't get it. The thing is so small you couldn't even put a ribbon around it. I just don't understand.
Well, McGregor, maybe in the rock, paper, scissors of agricultural competition, occasionally flavor wins out over 28.5 pounds of woody blandness. But don't feel bad. Third place ain't too shabby.
It's the noisy cricket factor, that's what it is.
Boy, I don't understand a word you just said.
Yeah, but I read you loud and clear, Chuck. It's a tiny oval, but it is packed with flavor. And it's a flavor that's as versatile and vital as it was 10,000 years ago. And you know, this isn't just about flavor, guys. These things are gosh darn good for you. They're packed full of heart-healthy, monounsaturated fat. Go ahead, grab one. You know you want to.
Man, that thing is tasty.
Slippery little thing here.
Okay.
All right.
So, do you guys have a little something for me now? Come on. Okay, that's good. Now we can be friends again.
Oh, goody.
See you next time on Good Eats.
Ow! Sorry.